This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your host, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
Boy, it must suck to be a Bears fan right now. You knew I had to start with this. You knew I had to start with it.
Brandon's choosing violence with a friend right off the rip of the show. I can't imagine how this is going to go.
This whole season, yeah.
I am. Boy. I had to. There was so much trash talk, and they came out and did that. Like, one, it reaffirmed that the Lions don't suck. Like, the Packers might be, I'll say it on record, the best team in the NFL this season. They're good. Vikings, you watched that performance last night against Atlanta. Oh, my God. And the Bears lost to them. We smoked the Bears. So at least we're the second best team in the division. We'll take that right now.
And
Long
JJ got hurt last night.
Hurt.
Well, JJ got hurt and Aaron Jones got hurt. So they're really in a pickle right now.
But this might actually help them.
They're already in a pickle with receivers. Well, Addison comes back after next week, so they at least get that back.
I'm out with JJ.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he showed out against the Bears, but again, apparently that doesn't mean anything.
Well, he showed out for one quarter.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't ask how, you just ask how many, right? And you don't ask how many interceptions and turnovers last night because it was not pretty. But hey, good Lions game. Happy with that result. Love the turnover celebration of the stumble fumble in the end zone by Kirby Joseph. Beautiful, right in Ben Johnson's face. I hope you both saw that.
Well, what was better, that or the sniper with St. Brown?
I'm shocked he's not in trouble for that one.
I thought Deion Branch played really well last night too.
Dude, so okay, I know we're recording the show and this is the cold open for it, but I have to tell this story. So I had a buddy over. He's a Bears fan. He continuously calls Brian Branch Deion Branch, and he did it right before that happened on the broadcast, and we were giving him so much crap for it. We're just like, say it right. And then it happened. And he's like, I'm vindicated. I'm not the only one. Like, no, that doesn't make it right.
I'm sure he's related to Mason Raymond somehow. You know, it's just, I started to question my own sanity. I'm like, no, I know it's Brian Branch.
Over under on Mason Raymond's this season on broadcast.
How many games is what's her face calling?
We have a ton of Nashville games, to be honest. So probably like
that's what I'm saying. Over unders probably set at a good 5 of those this season. 5.5. Bet it on DraftKings. Use code THPN.
No,
got the sponsor in before the intro, bro.
It doesn't help that we have Mason Appleton as well.
Maybe you got to raise that over under a little. Holy.
Only if they play on the same line.
Though that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Don't say
that's
never.
Disaster. That's disaster right there. Oh, all right. Well, let's jump out of the football and Mason Raymond talk into the show. Welcome back to the Hockeytown West podcast, your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. I am one of your hosts, Brandon.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis.
And we're coming to you today with a prospects games recap. Yes, the Detroit Red Wings wrapped up the prospects games over this weekend. Plus, we're going to talk the centennial jersey. We have to. Also, we're going to talk Griffins specialty jerseys because all those got released. We'll get our thoughts on those. But before we dive into the full show, we do have to send our condolences and our thoughts over to the Weisblatt family. If y'all haven't seen that today, brother of Milwaukee Admirals forward Ozzy Weisblatt was killed in a car accident today. He actually tragically signed a contract this year for the Allen Americans in the ECHL too, right off this summer. So that's super tough. Just sending our thoughts out to him. Orca Weisblatt was his name. If you don't know who it was, I think we saw that name circulate today, and immediately I was like, oh no. We know Ozzy Weisblatt quite well with the Milwaukee Admirals. He was an extremely talented player, likes to play rough and tough. We talk about him a lot in this show, but when it comes to situations like this, you can only just feel hurt for the family. And, like we said, we send our thoughts and prayers out to them, and especially both brothers who will be playing together on the Milwaukee Admirals team this year, Ozzy and Osias. I might have butchered that. I apologize if I have, but both of them are signed to play with Milwaukee against the Griffins this season. And I'm sure they'll be playing, with a lot of heart this year for their brother. So again, our thoughts out to the family, and we'll move on from that into the centennial jerseys. Boys, they were released today, and oh my God, they are beautiful. And if you haven't seen them by the time this releases, I'm shocked you haven't. They're all over social media. The Detroit Red Wings seemingly have won the third jersey release of the offseason so far.
It's really good. I'll say it's really good. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. The last few jerseys they've done haven't been perceived as well as some of the ones in the past. Like the was a 16 Stadium. Both reverse retros caused a lot of negative feedback. Yeah. And then last year, I mean, I liked the Stadium jersey last year. Some people did, some people didn't. So when they dropped this, like, I think when the Griffins dropped theirs, we kind of got an idea of what it was going to kind of look like when they teased their jersey, which we'll talk about later. But when the logo got revealed, the 100th anniversary logo, I think we all kind of thought like that, which is basically very similar to what it is. Basically, if you take that, and they have a child, it's basically the same jersey, almost. It's a little different striping on the sides, but
I think it goes beyond that, but that's me. Go ahead.
Well, it does, but like of the two sitting right behind me, if you basically if you take the stripes off the white jersey and just make it red, and then you put the logo that's on the front of that jersey there, it's very similar. If you just blend both of them, the minute details of using 4 different eras of the team's jersey history was amazing. The chain stitching looks great. It's weird because like if you look at some of the other teams that use chain stitching, like the Jets use it, the Hawks use it, it looks way different because it's like right in line, like the stitch just keeps going, to where this is more a little all over the place, but it looks really nice. I like the retro lettering on the Meyer ad and the CCM and the Bauer. Like that looks really sharp. DeBrincat holding the old school stick is pretty cool. I hope both goaltenders go old school brown kits. I hope that happens. I'm hoping that they get them their own kit for that. But I mean, it's amazing. It's a breath of fresh air. The numbers look great. The letters look great. I mean, it's all felt, which is going to be really cool. So, I mean, I could go on for hours.
Keep going. We'll let Nick get a few pieces in before you take all of them there. But go ahead, Nick. What was your thoughts on it?
No, you go first, Brandon, because you and Travis have been talking about it all day today. It's dominated the group chat. So
mine will be here tomorrow
to get it all out,
which is wild to me.
We spent 20 minutes before the show, before the Patreon episode, talking about it. So go ahead, get your thoughts out, and then I'll wrap it up.
Okay, my thoughts on it, honestly, perfection. Every detail, like the social team, the advertising team, everyone worked so well together on this to get every single detail perfect. Like you mentioned, Travis, the Meyer ad on top being the old school Meyer logo, that's perfect. The CCM and Bauer logos being retro too is awesome. I do love the stitching on the winged wheel. I'm glad they didn't do stripes across in a winged wheel behind it to try to fit it all in there too much. The amount of striping is just the right detail. They knocked it out of the park. They've done everything right with this Centennial launch for all their products, the logo, everything. They have done it better than any other NHL team doing a Centennial celebration this year has done. And I think that back end team deserves a ton of credit for how they handled this launch. Like you said, the details in the photos, the DeBrincat holding the old stick, the old leather looking gloves that have the Centennial logo embossed into the top of the cuff too. Like it's perfection. Like you alluded, Travis, you ordered yours and somehow it's going to arrive tomorrow before this episode's even released. And mine will be here hopefully on Friday. I'm super excited about that. But it's just well done top to bottom. Even the shorts with the D on there too. That's perfect. They found a way to fit that in. I love the little leather tag too. Like if you look at the Stadium Series jersey, the octopus tag, the little leather tag with the D on that too on this jersey. Just those tiny details are so nice.
One other thing, like, so when I initially seen it, like the diamond is cool, and the leather I wasn't a huge fan of at first. I'll be honest. Like I think if they would have just done like maybe a felt white patch with the red C, or like if they did the cream C on it, would have looked really sharp. Kind of like how they did it on the sleeve of this jersey right here, the Winter Classic one. If they did that more prominent on the chest, but I like the brown, like the leather. It's kind of cool. It just, you look at the whole jersey and then you see that and you're like, it sticks out, which is kind of neat. But at the same time, it's like my initial thought was like, I didn't like it, but the more I looked at it, the more I do like it. And then you seen the brown gloves with the anniversary logo like embroidered in the top of the glove, which is sick.
Yeah, it's all the little details just came together perfect. I like the leather. I think it just screams vintage right away. Like you saw Kaner when he pulled it out of the box, he's like, it's vintage. Like that's your immediate thought. And with easily, arguably one of the best jerseys in the league already, to be able to respond with this, that was fantastic. love it. Well done to the Red Wings team on the back end there that created this, the creative team, the product team. Everyone did a fantastic job, and they deserve the flowers that they're getting. Nick, I know you want to share your thoughts if we left anything on the bone there for you.
You did, man. You missed one detail. So the one added is they put the Stanley Cup championship years in the helm of the jersey. So I really like that aspect. So it's a neat little, nod to the past. I love the brown leather. The C, I think it looks cool. It's something different from what the jersey behind you, Trav, with the white C or the white diamond with the red. So the leather looks cool. It's vintage. It's old school. Hopefully, like you guys said in the group chat, hopefully they're doing brown gloves. The goalies brown kit. That makes sense, right? I'm even hoping maybe the goalies go with like an old school mask or something for these nights that they're gonna wear it. That would be sick. I don't know how they could kind of honor the past and the 100 years. I mean, it's such a rich club. It's original 6 team. It's so much rich history here. I love the striping. I'm not big on stripes. The last jersey that they came out with, I freaking hated it. The barber pole, I hate the barber poles. But the stripes here with the nod to the Detroit Cougars, right? The Detroit Falcons. Not the Cougars.
both are on there. Yeah, both are on
into it. I like that. The one thing that I don't like about the jersey, though, is I don't like the logo. I don't like the red inscription in the white. I don't know why. It looks like a
chain
bedazzled.
stitching?
Yeah, I think it's just like it looks bedazzled from the photos. I may have to just see it in person and have a different idea on it. I just feel like it's like glittery. It just feels, I don't know. I just don't, that's the one part that I don't like. And that I don't like as well. I'm still holding a grudge from my stadium jersey. Ordering it through this team store, not getting a reply, 6 voicemails, pre-ordered it, went through the organization. I never got a reply, my order. So when they launched this today, I was already kind of angry about it. So I've still got to get over that to fully accept it. Like, I love the jersey. I do love it. I've been looking at it a lot, but it's going to take me a while to order one because I'm still a little salty.
We didn't even mention the fact it's got the jersey ties too.
I don't like that.
It's got like on the big house one behind Travis there. I like jerseys with those on it, but
it's red.
Yeah,
and then there is Hockeytown in the top part too. It says Hockeytown up top in the neckline.
Yeah, and there is one final detail that I want to spark a conversation with. I posted this question on Twitter today too. The trash patch is on the shoulder of the jersey. I don't hate that. If you're going to do a jersey ad, pop it on the shoulder of every jersey. If you think about it from a branding perspective, the view on TV is from the top. You don't see the front of them often. That patch is going to be visible at all times. Like, that's the premier spot to have something. One less wing wheel on the shoulder of a general jersey, but put the patch up there. I think that's the move every team should do. Because then they can put the C back on the right side where it belonged before. And when you do the playoff stuff, you don't have the ad jammed next to the playoff logo, and it makes sense. Put it on the shoulder. I think that's how they should go. You guys might disagree with me.
I like it on the shoulder. At first, when they launched it, I didn't see it. And I was like, oh, they got away with it. I'll put it on there. I was like, I might actually have to order. I'll probably order mine. It'll probably be later in the season. I know you guys jumped the gun and did it now, but I kind of see it in person, but I do like the patch on the shoulder. I think that's where it goes. And just the style, like you guys said too, on the CCM, the Meyer logo up at the top is the retro logos. It's super cool. The helmets. I mean, you don't want to mess with too much for the original 6 teams, but you have to innovate. You have to do a little bit of something. And I think this is the way to do it, is to look back at the past and merge everything in one. And they did it really well. I didn't do the briefcase quizzes. I don't know about you guys.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing until like 2 days ago. So
I didn't I did like 2 and got them wrong, and I was like, no, this is
when the answers were out there for us right in front of our face, apparently. But
I will say too with it, like, it's one of those things, like, I wish they would wear it for every home game.
I do too. I want to go as far as saying I wish I had a road version too and just wore that for the whole season, but
no,
I don't think this would work in white. So every home game, I 100% agree.
Our white jersey, no, absolutely not. Our white jersey's too good not to be worn. That's also true, because it's like the best road jersey in the league. So
yeah, I do wish it was every home game. I'm glad it is the home opener jersey, at least for sure. That was confirmed. So
yep,
It's exciting to see. But again, before we spend 30 minutes talking about a single jersey, good congrats to the Red Wings there. That is knocked out of the park, and I feel kind of bad for all the other teams that got to follow up this release with theirs.
I will say Washington did do a solid job with theirs. The
That
new
Screaming Eagle, I don't
Eagles.
like it.
It's okay.
I don't like it at all.
I wish
I
they
don't
would
like
just go
that
back
color
to the
scheme on
90s.
them.
I don't either. I like the black, copper, and blue, but that's just me.
100% with you there. All right, let's dive into the prospect games. We'll talk about the Griffin specialty jerseys after, because if we mesh together a half hour of jersey talk before an ad break, you guys might never come back and listen to us. So let's talk some hockey here. The prospect games took place. You got to see quite a few of the Red Wings future players in action here. A lot of Grand Rapids Griffins players in action as well. The one absence of the weekend was Carter Bear. He had an injury apparently that he'll be ready for training camp for, and I think that raised a lot of eyebrows around fans that got really concerned with an injury and him being injury prone. So hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully they were just smart and let him, heal up all the way and he's ready to go. But let's talk about the first game here. The Wings dominated this one, backed up by a stellar performance from Rudy and net. I just want to get to him first before we dive into all the forwards and stuff. What did you think of Rudy Gaumond in this game?
He was the best goalie in the 2 games out of everybody, and it wasn't even really close. What parts he did get tested, right? Like, there were parts in that first period he got tested, and then Detroit just the skill took over. But all in all, when he was asked, Rudy he stood tall.
Yeah, this kid, he's played junior hockey right out for the Q, which is a high offensive league. So he was the guy last year. He went the entire season without a loss. His first loss was in the Memorial Cup playoffs. Like, that was it. So, super impressive season last year. He comes into this. This was a perfect situation for him. Like, he's playing. Dallas didn't bring a bunch of AHLers like we did. They didn't bring a lot of prospects. There was probably only one, maybe 3.
They had one first round pick. That's it.
And who was that?
Oh, I don't remember his name.
It was like Emil something. And then they had Bertucci was out there too, who's also a draft pick. Split ties there, so that's how I know that. But they didn't bring a whole lot of folks. And so, like, for me, I'm like looking at watching this game, and I'm like, yeah, we should be dominating. Like, we brought half our AHL roster here. Like, this should be. So to see Rudy Gaumond, he balled out. I thought he played really well. I thought he was seeing the puck. He was stopping the rebounds. He was making big saves. He was keeping the team, I don't want to say in it, but this was a good test for him to see where he is at on the radar. Like, you saw, we'll get to like Ammo and Nate and, others later on, but they really stood above. And I think this guy did stand above his own peers. And so I'm very excited to see I know he's going to go to juniors. He's going to be back in juniors next year. And then for Monton. And then I can't remember.
Yale.
He has college attend. Yeah, he has Yale. I couldn't remember. So then he'll go Yale. So, we've got a long way till this kid gets here. But I like what I see so far.
Yeah, it was a good early showing from him. I liked what I saw. And like you said, Travis, he was the best goalie out of the weekend. And I would 100% back that statement up as well. And obviously the stats do too. So there's not much more to dive into there. The Wings won that first game 6-2. Both goals were let in by Landon Miller, if I'm correct too, right?
Yeah, in the third.
Yeah, Landon took over the third.
Yeah, we won't dive into Landon too much there. I don't think we're going to be seeing him for quite a while. I don't know what's going on with that prospect. We'll dive more into that through training camp and, preseason if we see him during that. But I believe he's going back to the Sioux as well. I think he was already slated to go back there and play in the OHL this year. So dive into the guys that scored. And the scoring kicked off with Emmett Finney, which was a great thing to see. Look at a quote from Dan Watson after the game. He wants to get better. And every time I've seen him, he wants to get better. He took another step tonight. He set the tone early with his speed and pace that he plays. What did you guys think of Emmett Finney in this game?
He was good. He was kind of what I expected. He's playing against like guys that, he's kind of stacked up against for the last few years when he was with Kamloops and junior, right? He was with Kamloops, I believe. And like he was a dominant player for them last year. So it kind of makes sense that he would go in and play well against guys his own age and of his same kind of skill set. And you got to remember, he was a 7th round pick. So yeah, there's a long way to go still. I think time is a big thing with him and continuing to develop. But it was kind of like what I expected. I thought he would be one of the better players, being that he played in some American League games and he was so dominant at the junior level.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? What did you see from Finney?
Finney is an interesting case. Like, just the way, because we saw him when he was up here at GR, like coming in at the end, right after juniors coming in, and he kind of had to find his footing, and he was on like the third, fourth line down here. So it was kind of tough to find, like the first year he was here, he was supposed to just be here to observe. Like they brought all those junior guys over. None of them were supposed to get play time. They were supposed to observe, kind of implement with the organization. And then he gets thrown out there to play. And we're like, what? And he was probably like, what is going on here? To try to find his footing. And then last year he came in and he fit in pretty well right away. I thought he acclimated very quickly with the system, with Dan Watson and with the team, which is tough because, like, especially last year, we had so many people going up and down. For this weekend's games, Travis said it best. Like he came in, he was playing against his peers. He stood above them. Like he really did come in and dominate this. He played first line too with Nate. So I think it's going to be he's going to be an interesting guy to watch over the next few days. He always comes in with like training camp and does really well. It's just, I'm so torn with the things I'm hearing and then like where he's at and what he's saying as well. But he played that first line with Nate and then MBN. And I think that was a good spot to have him like kind of showcase who he is and how he can play, because he is offense. He is, he's got that spark to him. Nate's going to create that space, and MBN's, he plays that North American hockey style. So, I mean, it was a good line for him to be on. I couldn't see him moving down to Ammo's line with Deuce and Banto, like replacing either of those. So, it's going to be interesting to see how the next few days go with him at training camp and like the red and white game. From the things that I've been hearing outside.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a fun season to watch him develop. I think it's going to be one of those guys that you can see on the stat sheet grow as the season goes along. And, he started getting really comfortable in the American League at the end of last season. So I am excited to see where he starts and then where he finishes, what that's actually going to look like. You brought up MBN. It wasn't the next guy I was going to go to, but since you brought him up, I'll transition there. There's a quote the Red Wings shared in their article from the recap of this game that I loved. I'm just going to go out there and play my game. This isn't the first time I've played hockey, so I'm comfortable playing the type of hockey I know. I'm like, I love that. And he looked comfortable too, because I think he forgot it was like a prospects tournament, because he's throwing hits. He was doing everything you expected MBN to do. Did you guys see a difference from what we saw in the short, small sample size in Grand Rapids before the playoffs and in the playoffs? And in this game, did you notice any growth in his game from these two?
Just more physicality. Like he was just more physical than everybody else there. And I think that's what's going to really help him I think he could maybe, like, he could be a guy that causes conversations just with how he plays the game.
Kind of like Elmer did last year.
Yeah. Like, if he goes in and plays that kind of style and is as impactful as he was, like, I'll be honest, there were two guys that were really stand out to me. MBN was one for the physicality along with the playmaking, and then Ammo just for obvious reasons. But
he should have stood out, but we'll get to
much vastly different reasons.
Yeah.
I think MBN, like, you're starting to see, like, okay, his style of play is going to translate. That's probably the biggest thing. And it's just going to be like, how effective can it be against grown men? And I think he's going to play a lot in the preseason.
Agree. Nick, what do you got on him? Anything?
For me, it felt like he looked a lot more comfortable. I'll say that. Now, his game is North American hockey. It's north-south. It's punishing people. It's using the body. He's got that big shot. So, like, he was as advertised. I'm not looking for him to, like, make these crazy dekes or make these crazy passes. He's known for his shot. He's known for his physicality. That's what he's there for. We're not looking for anything different. His game, if he just continues to get bigger and stronger and maybe better aim, like scores more goals, like what else were you asking from this kid? Like, he doesn't need to change much of his game, and he played his game like you said. I mean, it's that simple for the kid. That's all he has to do. He came from the SHL, right? Second hardest league out there. He should be punishing these undrafted junior kids. Like, it's David versus Goliath at that point with this guy. So, I mean, he would be a guy that I would have, maybe he gets I don't even know if I want to go that far. If gets a few games with Detroit, it's just
anything could happen, right? But
anything could happen.
You don't want to put your stamp of approval on that statement just yet. You want to see him in game action, not against people that he
got to see him play grown
he
men.
probably
like,
shouldn't have been in this tournament. They're probably like, there's some guys that probably shouldn't have played in this one when you think about it. Like they should be beyond that at this point, but they did. And again, like you're looking for, we saw dominance in this game at least, and that's what you would hope to see with these guys in the lineup. I mean, MBN 4 points on the weekend, a goal and 3 assists. That's pretty good result right there.
I would say it's fair that he played in it because let's be real, he only played a handful of games over here last year if you count the preseason plus the Griffins. There were 2 guys of the first round picks that really needed these games to just see how they translate, get more feel at just playing on a smaller sheet. It's him and ASP.
I'm glad you brought up ASP because the stat line for this point is kind of crazy to me. I thought ASP would be the highest scoring defenseman of this weekend, and he wasn't. It was Shai Buium, which had a ridiculous shot in game 1. That goal was ridiculous, and it's a shot he said that he's been working on all offseason, which is a great thing to see because that's a spot he would go to a lot in the regular season last year and try to rip the puck, rip it wide, or put it right in the goalie's chest. But to see him go top corner on a 6'4" goaltender and get it like that, A-okay with me. I like that. What'd you guys think of Buium's game?
So they were targeting that area the entire weekend against is it Cross? And so they were trying to go upper corner on him the entire weekend. And this Shai Buium is a guy that I've been pounding the table for since midway through the season last year. Like I keep telling everybody, watch this guy. He is going to explode. His game translates very well. He does need to get a little faster, but don't we all? Myself included. But his offensive upside, like he led the rookies last year in assists, I believe. If not, like
at least on the team he did. And he was up there in the league too.
So it doesn't come to surprise to me that he's out there putting out shots, putting out goals. I think we're gonna have a big year of Shai Buium. I think it's gonna be, there is a lot of flash, there's a lot of sizzle for ASP. We're very excited for ASP. Nothing against him, but I think really now the conversation is, it's ASP. We have maybe Anton or Shai are right there. Like you maybe give Anton a little bit of the edge because he's in the SHL. He's got a little bit more
up too.
He is tearing it up. So I want to give him flowers there. But I think the next guy there is Shai. And then we could talk about Volender and Tuo and then Vero because he's still technically with the organization. We still have his rights. I mean,
no, we don't.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we
do not have Vero's rights.
They tendered him.
No, they did not. They did not give him a qualifying offer.
I'll cut that. It's okay.
I'm going to look this up because they offered him again after the season.
No, keep going. Your flow was so good. Keep going. You were on a tear there.
That's all I had is that those guys, like that kind of the order for those defensemen at this point. Like I know Volley had a tough assignment last year playing, and Tuo had the tough assignments in the top, and we had a lot of expectations for them, Brandon. You and I, like last year, even talking to Dan Watson, those were the guys. And then they just didn't live up to that expectation last year. Maybe this year, they take that step and they're the top guys. They did split them at the end. Steve was watching. I was like, these guys need to be different pairings. And that's kind of when Waddy kind of started splitting them. But it'll be interesting to see what the pairings are this year. There was some talk. Been listening to the Red Week podcast today. I had a lot of windshield time, and there's talks of ASP on the power play, and then maybe Shai Buium on the power play. Like, well, yeah, Shai was running the power play last year. He was the quarterback of this, and
he could hold the puck in at the blue line.
Correct. And so, I just think his game is more developed than the other, which is crazy to say. Like, these guys have been in our organization. Volley came from the SHL. Like, he was the top prospect. He was a top defenseman in that league, and I'm just excited to see what it kind of translates for Shai this year. I think people really need to look. I mean, I know about 3/4 of the season through, like he kind of hit the wall. It's going to happen.
So does the whole team.
Yeah, that's true too.
Let's be real. They did. I think it poses the question I want to ask you both. And I know it's the sample size of last season, and we got 2 prospects games. But do you believe that Shai has moved his way up in that conversation over the other 2 defensemen you mentioned when you're talking Tuo and William Volender?
You probably see a pairing of ASP and Shai Buium as a top pair. And you probably see Volender. Oh, you still think they can run it back with Volley and Tuo?
I think ASP is going to play with Lagesson.
Oh, yeah, you can't forget about Laggy. Well, until that roster's set, I mean, you can.
You might just
I mean, the team forgot about him last year. They just left him in Detroit and never sent him back down.
It's very. I'm not saying no, Nick. I just think stylistically, it would make more sense at a pro level to play him with Lagesson.
If I'm just looking at prospect pairings, those are the 4. If we got to throw in the veterans, then we have to kind of do more of a lineup look.
Yeah, we'll have to do that more in depth for sure.
I think with Shai, the offensive output was great to see. I think for him to take the next step, it's even better defensively, not so much offensively. Because if you look into the future of this organization, your power play 1 quarterback is going to be Axel Sandin Pellikka for Detroit when he gets to Detroit, if everything pans out. And you already have Sider running the power play up there. Yeah, they're trying to take minutes off him. I think for Shai to get to that next level, it's be even better defensively. Yeah, he can throw in the offense. That's huge. That's a plus, right? And let's not forget, Simon ran a power play in GR for how many seasons? I just think with what's ahead of him defensively, it's going to be tougher to make the bigger impact like power play time in Detroit. Now, obviously for Grand Rapids, yes. And this brings up a question for me, for you guys with this, because I get the defenseman normally runs the umbrella. If ASP and MBN are both here, should they both be on the same power play unit?
Yes.
Why?
I just think it works. In my mind, seeing them, how their play styles work, I just think it works. I need to know who else is going to be around them in that situation. But I think that does work, especially when you're coming off of a season with an awful power play in Grand Rapids. Like you need to get it going early this season. And if we're basing power play off of these prospect games, because they were coached by the Griffins coaching staff, I didn't see anything different on the power play from what we watched all last season in the small sample size I got to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch all of these games. That's why I'm teeing y'all up here. But I think you need to do whatever you can do out of the gate to get your power play humming. And then you can start spreading the love around if you want.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Where did Axel Sandin Pellikka score most of his goals last year on the power play?
I don't know. I don't watch much of the SHL there, bud.
Ovechkin's office. Ovechkin's office.
Then I'm wrong. Sue me. Fight me.
I'm just saying, because like I feel like for those two, they're so good at that off wing one-timer that eventually ASP is going to run the umbrella, and they'll probably have him do that anyways. But if you want to stick to strength, I'd put Shai with ASP on the same power play unit and have Shai run the umbrella and then put ASP off to his flank.
You beat me to my rebuttal to that was, do you see a point in the season where the Griffins go 2 defensemen on the power play again? Because we saw it a little bit last year, and it worked when it was, actually working. But at the same time, I could see them going that route. When you look at the defensive talent on this team as well, that's definitely something they could possibly do, because you could still have those William and ASP on the same unit and have Volander run the second unit. Like you could do that. Hopefully his blue line skills with holding the puck in got better in the offseason. But I think with going back to just William in general, I think the biggest thing for me is that he looked better on his skates. Like his skating was last season. He looked significantly better with his skating ability. I think this season, as you said, Trav, defensively, he needs to be good, but he just needs to be consistent across the board. And I think Dan Watson said that as well after they interviewed him after the second prospect game. It's all about consistency for him. So
good problem to have when you have this many top young prospects.
The one person, I don't care who is on the power play with ASP, as long as Ammo is on there with him, because the two of them are just absolutely beautiful on the power play together.
We're going to talk about Ammo next year. First, we're going to hit a quick ad break. When we come back, wrap up these prospect games and jump into those Griffins specialty jerseys.
Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football. It's first touchdown fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Currently, we're going to be rooting for the Detroit Lions this year, and Jahmyr Gibbs has a plus 600 for first touchdown scorer. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. 888-467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expires 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additionally, NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
And welcome back. All right. You brought up Amadeus Lombardi. Let's talk Amadeus Lombardi. Originally wasn't supposed to be playing in these prospect games, but with the injury of Carter Bear, that he ended up in the lineup. And Ammo said in a quote, he took it as a great, an opportunity to help guide these kids, to help teach them some things, step into that kind of leadership role in these, being a veteran player for the prospect games. But when he goes into this, you'd expect him to kind of blow the doors off. And that's kind of exactly what he did this weekend, if you ask me my opinion. I mean, 4 assists and a goal, and the goal was a beauty. Just absolute patience from him, which you'd love to see that patience early on from him. He was patient last year. He's showing it already this year. I know, Nick, you're itching to talk about him. Let's dive into it. What were your thoughts on Amadeus Lombardi's game this weekend?
I like that you said he was there to teach the kids, because
And he's a child himself, I know.
That, but he, if you watch that goal, he did teach some kids. So like that goal, the patience, holding the puck, getting that space, putting it in, it was beautiful. But he, at the end, like, he really shouldn't have been there, right? Like, he wasn't supposed to be there last year. And then he was a late fly-in for that. Cause I can't remember, somebody got injured last year and they brought him in. This year, they put out the roster. Everybody's freaking out. Why isn't Ammo there? I'm like, well, he doesn't really need to be there.
He's kind of graduated from that program.
Yeah, he's 2 years in the AHL. So, it's good to see. He's ready to start the season. But at the end, it's like he should have dominated against these guys, right? I think for this game, what they should have did was play him wing, right? And kind of get him kind of going on that side, is take that chance, because it is a lesser competition. So hey, Ammo, play the wing, go out there, have fun, like learn the wing side a little bit more, and be ready for this season. I don't know where he's going to play, center, wing, whatever, but maybe use it as that. These prospect games should have been used for that on that end. So that's all I got for Ammo.
Travis?
I hate that he was there.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I think it was stupid. Like,
well, to be fair, if he wasn't there, he would have been on the ice somewhere else, because the kid can't stay off of a sheet of ice in the summer. We've seen it all summer on his Instagram. If he's going to play, let him play, I guess. But yeah, I know you hate he was there.
I mean, that's fine. Like, he can work on things on his own. Like, this was like, why? I guess, like, you could have sent Seager. Like, you sent Banel. Why didn't you send Seager? I mean, that's
a whole nother can of worms that probably bleeds into a Toledo episode too. So
I'm just asking out loud, because mainly, like, if you look at the production that Ammo had last year, it's like, why does he need to go to a prospects game? Now, granted, it's great that he did what he should have done, and that's dominate, because he was, in my opinion, he was the best player on the ice both games all weekend. Like, he looked the most comfortable. You can tell he's played 2 years in the American League. Poise and patience, playmaking, everything was there that, you've seen in sample sizes with Grand Rapids over the last couple of years. Like, to me, it just is like great, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now he just played 2 games, and now he's probably going to play in almost every preseason game. Like, did he really need those 2 games? No. There's other guys that could have been there.
If he didn't put up points, would you have been concerned?
I would have been a little concerned, because especially after the year he had last year, when you have that kind of season last year, and if you're going back to play against guys that are younger than you, you should be able to kind of look bored out there, which at points he kind of looked bored with how good he was playing.
Glad Nick teed up that question, because he teed me right into the next prospect here, and it was Nate Danielson. 2-point weekend, a goal and an assist, and even himself admitting that some of his plays in Saturday's game were sloppy at times. And I didn't think he played bad. I just expected maybe a little more from him in this setup here, playing against a roster full of guys who, on paper, when you look at where they were drafted and where they've played, are less talented than him. I think he played a lot of minutes. I think that top 6, especially in that second game, played a lot of minutes. I know Dan Watson said they shuffled lines around late in the game. Some of the guys did get tired, but at the same time, I did expect more from Danny. And my question to you guys, since you guys watched every minute of both games basically, and I did not, how do you look on the faceoff?
A lot better. That was the biggest thing that stuck out
That's a
to me
win.
is that he was winning faceoffs. That's the biggest thing. The one thing that I can say that I noticed, occasionally still likes to stick handle himself into submission at times, but then he does things like when he scored the goal that you're like, the skill is there, just go ahead and try it. Especially when you're playing against kids basically, like your age, your peers. Maybe there's like a coaching point for if he's in GR, wherever he's at this year. Again, I think that's another guy that's going to have an opportunity to make a statement. But all in all, like off the puck, he was in great positioning as always. Like he does so many things right. He's such a good he's just a good player. He's always in the right spot. I just think when it comes to production, people are going to freak out with Nate when there's so much more to his game that I think the stat sheet doesn't show you, that I think is going to be his big like claim to fame. I loved where they put him on the power play. They had him in the like top right spot to where like he shot some, but also he's looking for that cross ice play Brandon, the game I was at with you, I seen it firsthand multiple times and pointed out like it's either shoot or it's going across the ice. And that was to MBN most times. So that was a key element there. And he looked confident, I think, for the most part. Obviously, the one bad penalty where he flipped it out of play, like you played pro for a year, you can't do that. And I think he knows that. But all in all, I wouldn't say that it was a bad showing. I wouldn't say that he was dominant. I think he was just kind of what I expected. And if he's a point per game player, is that really a bad thing? No, absolutely not. Like, it is what it is, right? And I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was like slamming the doors down, but he was just good. Like, he was good.
Nick has something to say and he doesn't know how to say it.
I don't know, because he's such an interesting prospect. And I know, Trav, you probably listen to the same podcast and everybody that I listened to today as well about his performance over the weekend. And like I said, I had a lot of windshield time, so I was thinking a lot on his performance and what these guys are saying, and what we were gonna say tonight, because I figured we were gonna record. And it's last year, like when he was in juniors, he dominated. When he played for Brand, he dominated on a good team. Set a ton of assists, a ton of points. He comes to GR, he plays top line, and it's like, okay, and everybody's like, where is he at? He's not putting up the numbers, but he was secretly putting up numbers. He was secretly one goal here, an assist here. He was always in the right spots. He had great passing. He was just, even the scouts that we were sitting next to were like, what are you seeing? Like, and they're like, he's positionally sound. He's got great hockey IQ.
Plays the position so well.
So well. He's tough to play against, somebody said, right?
Just somebody.
And I said it with Hockey Style Podcast when I was out with them. Like, it's just, he's such an interesting guy. And you just don't know. He's tough to gauge, right? Because he did well last year. He topped what Marco did, and Marco played against men the season prior. He had heavier people on his wing, Marco did, than what Nate had last year. No offense to Austin Watson. No offense to Sheldon Dries. I'm trying to think of who else played on his wing throughout the season.
I mean, Elmer at one point.
Elmer at one point. I think Amo didn't play. But there was just, so you go into this game, okay, so you kind of gauge him. He played against top people last year. He played top minutes. He played an important role for GR. Then he comes in and he plays against the lower competition, and you're expecting him to blow people out, right? Put up the offense, put up the points. It wasn't there. And like, he did so well for training camp. He did those 9 preseason games with Detroit the year before, and people are like, this guy's going to make the team opening night roster. There's so much hoopla around him. And it's like, okay. And then he comes to GR, he's kind of secretly, he plays under the covers, right? Then he comes here and he doesn't really play, doesn't put up a lot of points. And maybe that's just his style. Maybe that's his game, but it's like, he's the 9th pick, right? You need offense from this guy. I don't think Wings fans are happy with, like, you're going to hate me for this, but like a JT Copper and Andrew Kopp replica, right? Like, that's what we're wanting to get away from. And the Copps might not be there. I see you spinning your wheels there, Travis. You're thinking. But if you put Nate there and he has that same sort of production, are you guys happy?
Yeah, because he's not making $5 million doing it.
That's okay. Fair point there, but he will at some point. I mean, the cap is going to go up. So, I mean, at some point, your third or second line center is going to be making, a considerable amount of money. So,
Right.
like, some people are happy with the production he has because he plays such a solid game. But I'm like, we already have that. Like, we can't have that again. We already have that in the system. We already have, we have something that's more proven than Nate is, right?
Yeah.
Nate is still an unproven thing in the NHL. We don't know where he is. Maybe he just plays down to his competition. I don't know. I'm excited for this year. I hope he's here. I hope he gets the strike. He gets the development. Maybe one more year here. It'll be interesting. I won't be able to watch preseason. Like, there's no way I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. in Spain watching preseason NHL.
Yeah, guy takes a vacation during preseason when we're a minor league podcast covering the future of the team. Brilliant scheduling.
The other day.
No,
I just
Maria's
want to
fault.
I want to point one thing out with this. What is the one thing that Steve Yzerman has said for the last 3-4 years in every press conference?
There's no schedule for the rebuild.
Well, that too. We have got to keep pucks out of our net.
Yeah.
Center has such a huge responsibility in the defensive zone, and that's where Nate's hockey IQ, his defensive play, his play off the puck is so key. I get the production point of being a top 10 pick in the draft. If you find an effective, say Nate tops out at a third line center that gives you 30, 40 points a year, 50 points maybe is a career year, but is a shutdown guy, I ain't complaining about that at all.
No.
And I'm not on either side of the fence here. I'm just bringing the discussion. I know,
and I'm just making a point. Like,
it's a good discussion to have when we're the ones that watch every game he plays.
I am not concerned because I think when you get him an elite shooter for an entire season, you're going to see him have maybe 30, 40 assists in a season just with his vision and passing ability.
Like Emmett
I'd
Finney.
love that.
No, I'm saying like a Michael Brandsegg-Nygard if he's in Grand Rapids for the year.
No,
Guys that can shoot
that'd
the
be great.
puck. Like guys that can really shoot the puck. Or if they put Ammo, Nate, and MBN together. Like,
either way, it's you're putting good pieces together, and I like the possible result that we're going to get. I want to throw the quote from Dan Watson on his weekend as well. On Nate Danielson, I should say. Thought he had did a really good job competing in both games. Dan had to throw the compete in there. Of course he did. He was one of the best players on the ice both nights. I think he did fatigue a little bit down the stretch for us in the third period of the last game. We played him a ton. He was on the power play unit, power play, penalty kill, 5 on 5 minutes with 11 forwards. He ate up a ton of ice time, but did everything we asked him to do. So Dan Watson clearly happy with Nate Danielson, and that's the best way to spell it up. Like your player did everything you wanted him to do. That's a good weekend for a coach right there. Danielson said...
He's not kidding. They played him into the dirt on Saturday.
Yes. And then Danielson on how his offseason and the tournament experience was. Summer was good. Spent a lot of time at the gym and on the ice. Of course he did. For him, it was to focus on trying to get a bit bigger and a bit stronger and put weight on it. He claims he did do that. We obviously don't know the stats behind it, but he did do that, he says, and the games weren't bad. He thought he got better as they went on. So excited. It's going to be a fun season for Danny. I think he's going to have there's a lot of pressure on him. I feel like when there really shouldn't be. He doesn't need to make that step this year, but he wants to. I think he's going to put a lot of pressure on himself, but there's going to be a lot of talent around him this year in Grand Rapids, and I think he could have a really, really good season. One last guy I want to talk about. I was going to dive more into ASP, but we talked a lot about him with the Bouillon talk, and I know we'll be talking a lot about him through training camp and preseason and all that fun stuff. I want to talk about a guy that we'll see guaranteed for the year in Grand Rapids, and Andre Becker. He had a pretty good prospects games, especially after coming out. He didn't have the best end of the season in Grand Rapids, I would say, but I did notice one thing, and he looks bigger and stronger. And I think that was something we called out a lot last year, where if he ended up higher in the Griffins lineup, he was getting bullied a little bit, getting pushed around, and he looks physically bigger. I know that's, a lot to say when you're playing against prospects, but his physique, he looks like he's gained some muscle, gained some strength, and gained some size. And I think that was good to see. And he put up some points this weekend too.
Great shot on his goal.
Yeah, goal and assist this weekend as well. 2 points, just like Danny there. Great shot in his goal. I think he was playing the center role really well. I think he was good on the face-off from what I saw.
Third line.
Yeah, I mean, if he's playing at that compete level, for Dan Watson there, he's playing at that compete level on that third line in Grand Rapids this year, I think that's a pretty nice spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, he could factor into that real well. And I mean, let's not forget, he was a 3rd-round pick last year, right, Nick? Was it
Yeah.
last year?
It was
And then
Nygard,
he
Plant,
was,
and
yeah, because then he was hurt and he didn't start the year on time, correct?
correct.
So let's be real, he was kind of behind last year. So a whole summer off to just kind of get, healthy. He's gone through a whole season. Can he take a step this year? It's going to be an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, last year he played third line with like Cross. He played with Finney. He played Gettinger, Seeger. Like he had all sorts of people. Snively at one point with Gettinger. So he was all over the place. For the prospects for the weekend, I mean, he did get the goal, so he showed up on the stat sheet. Looked bigger, which was good. Yeah, I don't know. If he could hold down the third spot, like third center, perfect, right? Like what?
Yeah, it's not me saying he's going to, make that jump to Detroit anytime soon, but you wanted to see him come out looking stronger and more confident in himself than he kind of looked last season. Because he'd have those flashes. He'd have those 2-goal games in Grand Rapids. You'd be like, what? Especially on the power play for us. All of a sudden, he became elite a couple of games. Just a couple of games, but hey. We'll take it.
Our power play and elite? That's weird.
I know. Yeah. Well, hey, when the third line center can contribute points and goals like that, you're happy. It just needs to be consistent.
I think this was a good prospect tournament for, like, I don't want to say tournament because it's not a tournament anymore, but it was good prospect weekend for him. Like, this is a guy you should see here, right? Like, this is, like we were saying earlier, like, there's some guys that shouldn't be here. There should be some guys here, and there's other guys that should not be here at all. We're like, where's more people from our organization being in these games? But with Becker, like he did struggle last year. He had the injury. He didn't start till like November, December. Then he gets going. He, was a little bit more shy, a little bit more timid player. And so for him coming out this one was good to see. I don't know. I just don't know where and I think the route I want to go with this is like he is a player we drafted, is a player that's in the organization, and he's over here in Frisco, Texas. But he's traveling with the team. Like, he's around the team. I think that's important. Like the more players you could get over here, acclimated into the system on North American ice is going to be a huge benefit. So I think that's kind of the route I want to go with Becker.
And he played on North American ice because he played in junior. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. This has been a
think
long
he's
recording, longer than I think
international.
any of us thought we would. But
Becker's a curveball. I was not ready to talk about Becker.
Well,
I know. I like to throw a curveball out there for you. Go ahead, Travis.
One thing with him, too, you got to remember, he only played 59 games in the regular season because he started late, and he still had 10 goals and 10 assists for 20 points. Like,
playing third, fourth line minutes.
Right. Yeah. He was playing a depth role and still got 20 points while missing the first little bit of the season. So definitely a guy for Grand Rapids that could be an impact into their bottom six, especially if, how the lines shake out, who he's playing with.
And another guy that'll probably impact the bottom six of the Griffins and not the Toledo Walleye this season. Sorry, Travis, Carson Bantle, who, as the broadcasters from Dallas called him, the 6'5" mutant out there this weekend. Thanks to our friend Elaine for sharing that quote that we missed during the broadcast there. He looked really good from the bits and pieces I saw him on the ice this weekend. Again, you guys watched all the games, but I thought he looked as good as you would expect him to, or if not better, in this prospect games tournament, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's hard to forget, like, some people forget that he was a 4th-round draft pick at one point in his career. So, I mean, there's a reason that, like, he was there, right? And I think for him, the biggest thing is continuously, like, get better. But I think the one thing that stuck out to me of area of improvement would be, like, over stick handling at times.
He did that in Toledo a lot last season, too.
We've seen that last year at times, but his board battle play, his play along the boards, he's so good at it. Like, it's just an element that I don't think the Griffins really had last year. And I think a full season of him could really benefit them. And for him himself, I mean, let's not forget, he scored 20 plus goals in Toledo last year in under 40 games. So he was an impact guy down there, and he's just such a big body. I mean, if he can just, again, like I said, maybe ease back on some of the turnovers with trying to do too much. I think if he would just simplify at times, that's a big thing. The setup play to, was it Bouillon on the one timer?
Yeah, it was Bouillon's goal.
Oh, that was a pretty play to find by Ammo to find Bantle, and then Bantle just, I mean, he's huge, but he has skill. Like, he's not like, he's just going to beat a puck into a boards all day, but like, he can play. He's got some hands. and he's just a big body. I think, like I said, limit the turnovers and just do your thing along the boards, and he's going to be an impact player in the bottom six for GR.
Yeah, 100% agree. Final thoughts on the prospect games. Still wish it was a full-blown tournament up in Traverse City. Still really do. I think it's something that's missed this year, but I'm glad they at least were able to get something on the books with that tournament fading away and get some, get the guys going, get some action going before training camp, especially for these younger players. I think that's going to benefit them a lot, in the long run here. And you look at the guys who played that aren't signed by anyone yet. It's a great opportunity for them to showcase their skill and maybe get a deal in the American League, at least not, in the ECHL maybe. So cool thing to see. Good to see hockey back on the ice. Obviously, we got training camp coming up this week and then the red and white game this weekend. Super excited for all of that stuff to go. And then preseason's here. Nick, you have one last thing you want to say?
I wrote down 3 things to watch for this weekend's games for
what you got
prospects. And at time of recording, I only had 2 things down, which is classic. But the 2 things was neutral, and I came up with a third while we were talking. But the neutral zone, we struggled so bad last year getting into the offensive zone, and this year
in Grand Rapids, you should practice
in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
this year looked so much better. The broadcasters in Dallas could not stop talking about how fast we were and how much we controlled the offensive zone. I don't know if that's a system thing or a skill thing because of the guys we were playing against and
it
who
was
we
a
had.
skill thing.
But still good to see, right?
It is.
Don't rate on this yet, all right? So I was happy to see that, right? We're using the wing more. We are gaining speed. We are getting into the zone. That was huge because we struggled so much last year. The power play was another thing that I wrote down. We scored, how many power play goals did we score? Like 6 for the weekend. That's huge. Maybe, definitely a skill thing, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to be watching this more as we go in. I'll be at Traverse City this weekend, so I'm going to keep an eye on this. Third one I wrote down was, as we were talking, was face-offs. And I thought we did a better job in the face-off circle throughout the weekend. So things that were bugaboos all last season, I don't know if it got addressed, if it got better. Things
it's tough to say
to be determined.
Yeah,
these are
things to keep an eye on.
They should outskill these guys all the time, but those are the things that obviously as Griffins podcasters that we want to talk about because they were a struggle here, and the coaching staff for the prospect games was the Griffins coaching staff. So you hope that there's systems in place and things like that. But again, the skill gap was quite large, and the things that you saw that looked good should have looked good, and we're glad they did.
Because
nothing to bang the table and be like, we're going to be great at those all season. We've got to see the Griffins roster all together here. But at the same time, it is good organizationally to see those things when the skill is that outmatched. Like you want to see that.
If we ran it back the way we did last year, I would have been panic.
If they looked like poop, it would have been a different conversation today, probably. All right, last topic for this episode. The Griffins released all of their specialty jerseys. We talked about the promos for the Griffins games last episode. Let's talk about these specialty jerseys. You got the November 14th one, the military jersey. Thoughts?
It's good. I really like this one the most. I wish it was white.
Not the cream color?
I don't mind the cream on this one because there's so much going on with the stars and the stripes.
If they would have done white, it would have looked like that one they did a few years ago that the Cross Yanis jersey that everyone knows from his overtime winner in that clutch game. That jersey was loud. That jersey was loud. If they would have went white with this one, I think it would have looked just as loud. I like the cream color on this.
Yeah, I thought it was I think it's pretty cool. It's a very neat element, and I was kind of glad that they went back to that style of design.
Yeah, Nick, I don't think you like this one.
I don't like the shield. Like I just want something different. I don't know.
It's a different shield.
Yeah, I just want something different there. I like the stars on the top. I like the stripes at the bottom. The shields, I'm just not loving the shield. Maybe they could have used the GRG shield that they have on almost everything else, the crest. I don't know. That's the only thing I don't like. But
I like last year's.
Yeah, I can't remember last year's, but
last year's was the camo and black one that had the Griffin logo with the military helmet on the Griffin.
It was pretty cool.
That was one of my more favorite military jerseys they've done recently. Next jersey up after that is December 13th, the Red Kettle game, the Red Kettle jersey, all black. Some don't like this one, but then somebody on Twitter pointed out it gave big Grand Rapids Rampage vibes from the old arena football team, and I was like, oh shoot, they're right. Now I like it. It's kind of a throwback to that. I don't hate an all black jersey either. You know, I like our black jersey more than our white jersey for the regular jerseys. So not surprised that I like this one. But your guys' thoughts?
I'm not a huge fan. It's just not for me. Brandon, you know why.
I do. It's a word mark. Travis hates word marks on jerseys so much. Nick, your thoughts on this one?
I like wood marks, so I like it. I'm down for this. The striping, I'm not a fan of, but I do like. If I had money, yeah, I'd do this one. would be number one choice.
My one gripe against it is that the 30th anniversary logo is on one shoulder and not both. So the one shoulder is just blank. Yeah, that's the anniversary logo is on the side with the advertisement. So like it's just really heavy over here and there's nothing up over here. Yeah. That's my one gripe about it.
I thought they were putting our logo on that side, Brandon.
I don't know, maybe some of the jerseys have two shoulder logos, some don't. So if it does have that, it'll be better. It's not my favorite red kettle. We all know which one that is. It's the old red and black one they only wore during warmups. Anyways,
maybe
December 20th.
If they could burst it, red color and black lettering next year, maybe.
I probably would have liked it a little better.
Yeah.
Anyways, December 21st. You got the hoops in, I don't remember how they framed this night up. I'm sorry. But you got the Pistons throwback jersey here. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one because I know you're obsessed with this one.
Hat tricks and hoops night.
Thank you.
I love it. I love the old Pistons logo. I love how they integrated Griff into it. It's fantastic. The striping is great. The colors are great. It's just nostalgia. Even the patch, the GR patch on the top shoulder, fantastic. I am just going to cry because I know I'm not going to be able to afford this jersey.
What credit cards for?
Yeah, it's going to be like a $2,000-$3,000. Like those Lions ones went so expensive.
They were expensive.
So I can foresee this being that high as well. The Pistons are making a comeback. I think next year is probably the Tigers. They probably do a Tigers theme.
I was just going to say that at the end here, but I'll get to that.
So I love it. It's my number one.
I don't like basketball in general. I'm not a basketball fan. I do love the way they did this jersey, though. I think they nailed it. I like this better than the Lions one actually last year. I think the logo itself is awesome. Like the logo redesigned to look like the old Pistons logo. It's so well done. So hats off to, again, Griffins back end team here for making this look this good. I like the GR shoulder logo too. I think that's sick. Like you said, Nick, I hope this means we've done Lions, we've done Pistons. I hope there's a Tigers or a baseball. Like, you got the Whitecaps right in town. I want a cross collaboration between those two teams. You see it in Toledo with the Mud Hens and the Walleye. I want something baseball related next season, and I hope this is the sign telling us that it's coming. Because the Tigers one, I don't know what you'd do with that. It would either probably just be a word mark baseball looking jersey or something. I think you could do a lot more with the Whitecaps. I think that would be really cool. But the Detroit sports references for the jerseys, they know they're printing money with those for these charities that they go towards. So well done. One of my favorite jerseys out of this, but I think the next jersey is both Travis and my favorites. It's what did they dub this night, Nick?
Old time hockey.
Old time hockey night. And it looks like, as Travis alluded to earlier in the episode when he brought this jersey up, it kind of looks like that Red Wings Winter Classic at the Big House jersey. It's got the cream and red with a old style looking Griffins. I wouldn't call it old style Griffins logo. I don't know. It's a cool Griffins logo.
It's like new. It's like
it is
completely new logo.
I like it. I like this jersey a lot. This is my favorite one out of all of them by far. I think they knocked it out of the park with this.
I like that he holds a hockey stick.
Yeah. Travis.
This thing's awesome. I adore this jersey. Like, this screams 2014 Winter Classic. It screams like the centennial season for the Red Wings. The new logo's sharp. Like, it's going to be hard not to try to buy one of these ones. Like,
and you notice too on the chest, it doesn't have the Griffins 30th anniversary. It's got the AHL 90th anniversary logo on there, which I thought was interesting.
This one's just it's well done. This is well done.
Very well done. Yeah. My favorite. Next one after this one, February 15th, it's the City Connect night, right?
City Connect, yeah.
I got one right. This one's kind of wild. Like, I don't know how to feel about it, but when you think Grand Rapids, I'm trying to figure out what that is on the shoulder. Is that a beer barrel? I don't know. If it is, that's awesome. The Culver City logo itself, I think, is really cool. it's a wild jersey.
It screams Kansas City Scouts.
I don't like anything Kansas City, so don't ruin things for me, would you?
Okay, it screams Colorado Rockies. Is that better?
Nothing is good about that team right now. So
Not
no.
that Colorado Rockies.
Oh, it does. Does. I don't know. It's cool. The city, it ties in all the city aspects to it, but it's wild.
I actually like it. Now, what I can't tell looking at the picture is like, is the red like, is that a griffin? Is that like a griffin?
No, that's the Calder statue in downtown Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay. See, this is where my unculturedness of Grand Rapids shows. I thought it was like a fucking griffin, like about to like perch on the city. Like that's what I kind of thought it was.
Now I'm never gonna look at the Calder the same.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Thanks, Travis. No, that's a cool thing.
The other patch, it says Grand Rapids on it. So I don't.
What's behind it though?
I don't. That's what I can't figure out.
I think it's a beer barrel.
And if it is, knock that out.
It looks
of the
like
park,
words. It looks like words.
I can't tell. Either way, it's a cool Grand Rapids jersey. If you're going City Connect, it's a cool jersey for that. The color scheme is just wild. It's out there. I didn't expect those colors, but that is the city colors as well. So that does make sense in the actual Grand Rapids City logo. Those are the colors. So, and I'm glad they didn't lean heavy into the yellow like the City of Grand Rapids logo does, because then the jersey would have been really wild. Last jersey to talk about the annual purple game on March 13th. I like this one a heck of a lot better than last year's. I will say that. Last year's sucked.
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it, Travis?
I just don't think purple and red go together. Like,
I will agree with that.
I'm a component. I am a big fan of purple, but I just don't like how the purple and the red mix together. I don't think that really flows. One thing that I've noticed while we're on this, I'm wondering if they get black kits again.
I would assume you're going to see some black shorts and gloves and helmets again this year. It looks like it's trending that way.
Because 3 of these have black. So, I mean, it would be a perfect.
No, they're going to wear their red shorts for this game.
I mean,
actually, I could see that happening.
I could too.
I'm more curious what the shorts will be for the Pistons night.
Black.
I would say so. No, I mean, the purple, it's not their best. They've done some really good purple jerseys here in Grand Rapids, and last year's I thought was a swing and a miss, and I think this year's is too. Definitely not their best work on the purple, but at the same time, it's a purple jersey. They'll go for a lot of money in auction, which is great because it goes towards a great cause. And yeah, that's about all I got to say about it. It's the only Shield jersey I think we might have this year.
Yeah, I just don't like the white. I think that's what's throwing me off. The purple, the black, the red all kind of match.
The red is throwing me off. The red's definitely throwing me off.
Through this whole time of you like trying to guess the nights, it kind of like reminds me of that reel of like, I'm going to make my girlfriend guess these NFL logos.
Thank you.
I hope other listeners also pick that up too. I know Trav did.
All right. Before I get roasted anymore in this episode, I think it's time to wrap it up. What do you guys say?
I mean, it was great. We had Jersey Talk. I love Jersey Talk. You'll never get me to not love Jersey Talk. But all in all, I mean, we finally got hockey.
We do. We finally got hockey. I'm so excited about it. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Of course, before we go, we got to thank our sponsors of the show, DraftKings and Everything Hockey Clothing Company. Of course, when you're betting with DraftKings, use code THPN. And when you're shopping at everythinghockey.com, use code WEST to save $2 off your order. And of course, we got to thank our Patreon subscribers as well. The regular season is coming up, so the Patreon won't be free for much longer. Again, we'll notify all the current subscribers when the charges will start going again. But if you haven't checked it out yet, head over to patreon.com/Hockeytown West Podcast. We recorded a new Patreon episode accidentally before we started recording this episode. Talked a lot of football, talked a lot of baseball. So go ahead and check that out over there if you want to hear us blabber on about that. But Nick, who are the current Patreon subscribers right now?
So we've got some new ones. So we got Chelsea, D-Boss, we got Hey Bay, Joe, listening to Ryan Hannah in the shower, F50 Alex, Tyler Ingalls, Vegan Baker, Claire Boughton, Dan Heaton, out of Florida, Mike Lizcano, Lade Grace, Griffin, Andy, Derek, Lori, Ellen, Travis. Travis, you're still on there. You're the only one I didn't turn off the free weekend for, the free summer. Sorry about that, buddy. And that's it.
Thank you all for the love and support over there. Again, we'll send notifications out before we start charging for that again, but we hope you guys have enjoyed the little bit we've been able to do over there for free this summer. I think this summer got a little out of hand for some of us, me, with scheduling, so I wasn't able to do a lot of those, but I know Nick and Travis have been doing a little thing on the side that'll get posted over there probably before we start charging for it again. So keep your eye out for that, right?
Yep, we got there's 4 more installments of free and then the top 20.
There you go. All right, boys, red and white games this weekend. I'm so excited. Hockey's back. Let's go. Everybody have a fantastic week. And as always, go Griffins, go Walleye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your host, Nick at GR Hockey Guy and Brandon at BrandonGR Hockey.